Hello, so this is the first part of a video which is probably going to have a few parts, which is my top Doctor Who episodes, actually listing them in order. There was no point to this episode whatsoever, it was just a waste of time, and it shows that the BBC shouldn't listen to what kids say. This episode just wasn't for me. I didn't like the Slovene, absolutely hated them. They're the worst creature in Doctor Who ever, and I don't know why they wanted to bring them back in Boomtown. It's just so pointless, and I hated this two-parter. I still hate it now, and I just think, what was the point? I mean, they should have just had like a 5-second episode of Doctor giving Rose the key, because that was the only good bit of the episode, and that was the only point. I still can't watch this episode all the way through. I've only watched it twice. The first time I watched it was when it was actually being broadcast, and the second time was when I was rewatching it and thinking it can't be that bad, can it? But it actually was. The Runaway Bride, I cringe when I think about it. I mean, Catherine Tate really screaming her head off. I mean, I know they sort of got her to shout less when she came back and everything, but why couldn't she have been like that in her first episode? And then we wouldn't have had that problem, and lots of people maybe would have liked it. But the point was, Runaway Bride, the plot was crap. Really obvious one. Okay, nobody liked this episode, nobody that I know of anyway. It was a waste of time to bring the Daleks back. The only good bit was when the Doctor got electrocuted. That was just awesome, because it's just like the Doctor getting electrocuted. But the rest of it was... Helen Rayner has redeemed herself though. She's redeemed herself with her Sontaran episode, so that's good. So she's learnt from her terrible mistakes with this two-parter. I bet you didn't see that coming, did you? Turn left. This episode really disappointed me because one, I didn't like the Rose that came back. And two, I didn't care about Donna or her family. I thought I did. I did in the Sontaran episodes. I did in the first episode, but this one, I actually didn't care. You know, that they were poor and they were living in Leeds or whatever. I just didn't care, and I just wanted the Doctor to come back. Even when Rose was talking to Donna, I just found it so boring. The actual concept of turning left, fair enough, but if the Doctor was in the episode, it would have been much better. I know that's the whole point, is showing that what would have happened if the Doctor wasn't there, but it doesn't make up for the fact that the episode sucked. It was just rubbish. Everyone was disappointed with this two-parter. I think at the time I liked it more, because when I was watching it I was like, oh yeah, this is amazing, but I think I was trying to kid myself really. The cliffhanger of Sound of Drums was okay. I was thinking, sort of, where is this going? And they shouldn't have turned the Doctor old. That was an obvious mistake, because then it just got silly. It's not I didn't like the acting or anything like that. John Sim was amazing, but it's just the plot and the way they resolved it. They will say his name, I mean, it's so obvious and cliche, and it's just... Basically it's the same reason why I didn't like World War 3. Slovene, picking up from where we left off, basically. It was more about the characters this episode, wasn't it? It was about Rose and Mickey, and that didn't seem that interesting to me when I first watched it. Still doesn't. Don't like Christopher Eccleston. Right, now we're getting on to slightly better episodes. Rise of the Cybermen, The Age of Steel. That was an okay episode. That was fine. There are some bits in it that are really good. Like the Doctor laughing when he finds out Rose is a dolly in a parallel universe, and things like that, which just make the storyline that much better. When the storyline isn't actually that original. 42, they've got 42 minutes until they blow into the sun, or something like that. What does this remind you of? It's kind of similar to the Impossible Planet set in Pit, don't you think? Most people do, and that's why they don't like it, because I think it's a rip-off. The one good thing about this episode is when the Doctor's scared and he thinks he's going to regenerate, and he tries to explain to Martha that he thinks he's going to regenerate. I thought that was good, and the fact that he's scared, this shows that they're exploring different sides of the Doctor, and that's great. But it just wasn't a very original plot. Burn with me. I still think this was a good episode introducing Donna. Well, reintroducing Donna, and obviously it's called Partners in Crime, so it's about her partnership with the Doctor, and when they keep meeting by accident and stuff. That's quite funny. But the actual plot about the adipose and all that was just like so boring and silly, and the adipose, they look really sweet and really cute, but they don't look monstery, and that's not Doctor Who. It's just stupid. Christmas Invasion was good when the Doctor was in it. The plot wasn't very good. Some of it was alright, like the sword fight and the bit at the end when David Tennant's in it, basically. Yeah, because at the time that was his first proper episode, and everybody was like, oh, we want to find out if David Tennant's good, but we didn't really get a chance because he was only in it for like 10 minutes.